Hi everyone, I'm Angelina and this is Blueprint DIY, where we remake our clothes to be just as unique as us. I am super excited for today's video because this is the first video in round 2 of the Upcycle games, and it's basically where I just put out a list of different things that you guys have sent me, as well as some things that I, think that you guys would want to see, and I let you guys vote on what you want to see me do. So for each set, I always give my members first pick, and the members picked number 1. I am super excited to do this because if you guys remember when I did my runway inspiration videos, everybody wanted to see me do this sweater with the buttons that come off the shoulder. So if you were interested in that, then this is the same technique to do that. So I'm super excited that you guys picked this one. So let's get into it. All right, so I have this denim jacket. I went thrifting for the first time after everything that's going on in the world, and it was a little odd, but I was able to find this one. Optimally, what you want is a men's denim jacket that is bigger than you, because then those shoulders will be wider than you need and you'll have enough fabric to do everything you need. So I would say like at least 2 sizes bigger than you would be optimal. For me, all I found was this, and so I'm going to work with it. It was actually a little bit bigger than I needed it to be, but then I washed it. So that lets you know that this quality of jacket is not a good quality denim jacket. But I'm going to work with it, and I think that I can make it look really nice, and a lot like our inspiration pick by the end. So I have an extra piece of denim here from something that I cut off. You can see it's the leg of a pair of jeans, and it's the closest match that I have to this. I don't have a whole lot of dark denim, but we're going to work with it. And you will also notice that I took off the buttons of my cuffs. I wanted to make sure before I got on camera that I was able to do that and able to teach you guys how to do it in a fairly simple way. If you've ever tried to take off a denim button, you know that that is a very tough nut to crack. But I'm going to show you a simple hack, relatively simple hack to get them off. All right, the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to remove a denim button. I can't actually lose any more buttons because I only ordered 20, so I would actually recommend ordering at least 30 buttons for this if you're going to replace your buttons. But I have this that I'm just going to, it's all cut up denim, those overalls that I made this out of, and actually this, and I just have a little bit left over, but I'm just gonna take this button off of here. And here are some of the tools that I'm using. I have a pair of needle nose pliers. It doesn't matter what kind of pliers. Actually, this is a wire cutter, 10 snips, and you also need a hair dryer. These buttons have a cover, and this cover, if you turn it over, you can see there's a little edge where the cover, is on there. So you want to take that little edge part and do your best to lift it up to see if you can, ooh, that was pretty easy, to see if you can pop it off. All right, so that popped off actually fairly easy. Now, there's this plastic part. This plastic part is what is holding the metal piece, the rivet, in there, and they hold very well. But it's plastic, so that means that heat can soften this plastic and allow it to be removed. Okay, I just wanted to let you guys know that I wasn't able to remove these buttons because this plastic seems like it's just really brittle. It could be because these jeans are vintage, but I just really want to show you guys how I removed the 2 sleeve buttons on my jacket. I used the 10 snips to cut away the excess metal so that I can get to the plastic piece. I used the pliers to lift up the plastic and then heated the plastic with a blow dryer. After a few minutes, I used the pliers to pull the plastic loose from the metal piece. But be careful after using the blow dryer because the metal will be hot just like the plastic will be. So like I said, for this actual button, the plastic kept breaking off. But if you have any other ideas for getting the plastic off, put it in the comments to help everyone else out if their button is stubborn like this one. Hey, if you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button and the bell to turn on all notifications so you don't miss on anything. We're a growing community community of upcyclers who do what we want to do, make fashion our own, no rules. So yes, definitely join us and we'll look for you in the comments. All right, let's get back to the video. All right, so here is my jacket. I have laid it flat, buttoned it all the way up to make sure that I can get, you know, like everything is lined up because we're getting ready to cut. Now, like I said, if your jacket is bigger than you were able to find a men's one, then when you cut, you're just gonna cut and fold under and add your buttonholes, your denim buttons, and you're pretty much done. This is a little bit different of a process, which I'm kind of grateful for because, you know, doing the easiest way wouldn't help those of you who couldn't find the men's jacket. So what I'm going to use as a guide, I'm actually going to make sure that I don't cut these weird. So my goal is to cut just a couple, not inches, just a little ways away from these lines here. So I'm a little bit nervous about cutting, but we're gonna do it anyway, right? That's our motto. I'm gonna use my sliver of soap today because I'm working with something dark. So now actually at the shoulder, you may want to, when you get up to the shoulder, angle it a little bit so that, because actually this is the back part of the jacket. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to angle that. All right, so now we can begin to cut. Ah! All right, so now what we're going to do is flip flop. Turn it inside out and switch sides. All right, so we have our extra piece of denim, and what we basically want to do is make sure we cut it with the grain for the very first cut. Then, because I just have so little of this, I'm just going to divide it into two to make sure that in the end I have 4 equal strips, and this is what I end up with. And since this is pretty much all I have from the denim that closely matches my jacket, I'm actually going to use some other denim that's going to turn under. You're actually not really going to see it. It's going to be turned under with the other side of the button. So I'm going to take all my pieces, lay them good side to good side, and sew them across at the top. Then we can start pinning them to the jacket so that we can get them sewn to the jacket. All right, so when I get to the end, what I'm going to do is just fold it in so that the edge of this fold matches the end. All right, so we have this piece ready, and we can go ahead and sew it down along the edge. All right, somebody asked me, when would you ever need to go through 10 layers of denim? And I want to show you that this is where. This is where the pocket was. So that's like 1, 2, 3, 4. This flat fell seam is at least 4. That's 8, 9, 10, 11 layers. So we're going to see if it goes through. I don't know if it will because it's so concentrated and there's a lot of stitches in there, but we're going to see. Boom, baby. So once we get that side pinned, we can go ahead and sew that as well. All right, so let's talk about this for a moment. So far, I've been doing everything with my Brother Strong and Tough. If you don't have an industrial sewing machine and you are working with a jacket that is your size or maybe a little bit, tad bit too small, what we did on this side, I would actually do it on this side, and I would fold just this on top of this. And you won't have to do what I am about to do. So basically what I need to do next is I need to fold this part over, because what mine is gonna do is mine is gonna button on top of the actual jacket. The reason I say that is if you only have a domestic machine, like Brother and Strong and Tough or Singer Heavy Duty, this next part, like this seam, needs to be folded over and sewn, and there is no way, I mean, I can't even barely sew it, fold it over, and there's no way that a domestic sewing machine is going to go through that. So yeah, that's just a quick tip for those of you who are working with a domestic sewing machine, you don't have an industrial one. And I'm also going to do a top stitch for this as well. I'm going to fold this seam back, one here, and then I'm actually going to do 2 fake ones just to make this look like I want it to look. I'm going to do one on the edge and one closer to this inside seam right here. That one looks really good. And if you're interested in upcycle classes or knowing what videos I'm gonna post before I post them, definitely consider becoming a member. Hit the join button down below to learn more. All right, so we are back. We've done all that top stitching as best we can. So this side is going to have buttonholes and this side is gonna have the actual buttons. So I need to mark off, I only have 10 buttons for each side. So I need to mark off so that, you know, there's enough buttons. Like I said, you guys order about 26 buttons or buy about 26 buttons to make sure you have enough. All right, so I have the denim button in the back of the buttonhole, and I'm going to do it on a test piece first. So I always like to test my buttonholes because I don't trust them. That's just me. Yay. All right, so only 20 more to go. All right, so we have that set. We want to put the button thing down again, push it back to reset it, and let's see if this works. All right, look who's getting good at buttonholes. This girl. And like I said in the last video, we're gonna do this little trick. We're gonna add a pin at the top of the buttonhole, and then when you seam rip it open, you won't go past. Now that buttonhole is open. 19 more to go. All right, so we have all of our buttonholes in place, and I have my bag of denim buttons, and they have one side that is a rivet, one side that accepts the rivet. So basically, I just want to line everything up. We are going to need a mallet for this. And because this is through so many layers of denim, I'm actually gonna have to cut a hole. This is an all AWL. All right, so we have our rivet in the denim, and we just take this, place it on top. Ooh, you don't want to press your hand down into that rivet. That is for sure. There we go. I also need to do the sleeves, so I'm actually just going to switch it, even though, you know, you can tell that it's supposed to be this way. It's a little bit weird, but I am still going to switch the button to this side. You don't have to do that, but you can if you like. All right, so now I can button my sleeves so the button goes to the outside. All right, so let's see how it turned out. Taking just be. Don't take it. Taking just don't be. Absolutely love this. And my thing is like for something like this, I wouldn't put the buttons on it and then always have it buttoned. That makes no sense. I could have just left it as a regular jacket or turned it inside out and just sewn it to get that two-tone look, which you can absolutely do. But I absolutely love the idea of this. I love how it looks. I love how it's styled. I'm just crazy about stuff like this. You guys know that. I'm crazy about stuff like this, which is why I put it on the runway inspiration video in the first place. So let me know in the comments if you guys are digging this, if you like the way I styled it, and how you would do yours, because I can think of so many variations. You, instead of doing buttons up the front and back, you could lace tie it. You could add buttons, like regular buttons. You can add snaps. You can, like I said, you can use this same technique and do it on a sweater or a t-shirt or whatever you want to do. Oh yeah, so many ideas are just flooding. So I can't wait to see what you guys come up with. If you haven't subscribed, definitely subscribe, and definitely go watch the video to create this super cute casual denim corset t-shirt. It's right here, and I have a whole host of other videos for you to watch, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.